she still can't climb as good as I'd like on a hot day. Got a little more work to do. Finally been able to keep the oil temp in a range that I like. Engine's really behaving well. Man, I am just covered in darned grasshoppers. Lord have mercy. That's ridiculous. Grasshopper guts everywhere. And don't leave your door open. Okay, so finally got it flying straight. You got a lot to manage. You have to predict what you think the engine is going to need as far as cooling. And then you've got to kind of enrich on demand should stuff start getting out of hand. So if you build them perfectly symmetrical, they fly crooked. And get better at predicting kind of what you're going to need so that they fly pretty straight. This one was way better than my first one, but it's really amazing if you build a symmetrical airplane, you know, because of the P factor, you're going to have a lot of right yaw. So just getting that all figured out and trimmed out. The wings were perfect right out of the gate on this time. So I think this little girl needs to go up to Alaska. For false traffic, passing over midfield, 2 miles to the west. We'll be entering a left downwind for 17 for false. For false traffic, passing over midfield, entering left downwind for 17. We've got that landing traffic inside on short final for false. Longhorns. Didn't know anybody still had some of them out here. Headgummit. Should have landed in the grass. Once again, AWOS is wrong. Yeah, real crosswind. Alright, well, we're here to do a fuel flow calibration and endurance testing, so we got a long range flight. Yeah, it's pretty hot, boys and girls. Yeah, just kind of trying to hang out the pattern on a day when it's this hot, just to see if everybody can stay cool. Of course, it's a liquid cooled engine, so the engine's not so much the trouble, it's just things like your oil. Alright, let's get this thing on the ground. And I don't want to taxi forever and a half, so we're going to land way long. Well, I think I'll get a little bite to eat. My sister lives here. Her boys love to come out and see the airplanes, especially when I'm testing them. It's always so adventurous. Alright, let's see if we can climb up out of here. Okay, cylinder number 2, EGT. That's a bit hot. Jump right in here and cool that sucker off. Wow. Well, RVOR antenna. Talk about good shielding. We are getting a steady read on the Panhandle VORTAC from 65 miles away at only 5,000 feet. That's a good antenna. And dang good wiring. Now there's something you would never see traditional conventional aircraft. EGT spreads no more than 5 degrees maximum spread. Got one cylinder, 2 there, 5 degrees hotter than everybody else. And cylinder head temps, maximum spread of 8 degrees. Lowest is at 222, highest is at 230. You'll never see that in conventional aircraft. I'm not going to chase that 5 degrees right now, but if you wanted to, you could. Let's at least check in on cylinder number 2 there and see. I guess that makes a little bit of sense. She would be a little bit warm at that setting. So actually, we'll just go ahead and cool her off at 5 degrees. And boom, there it is. 2.5 degree spread across the whole board. That's unheard of. So these engines are getting so much more reliable, which equates to so much more safety. So when you're talking with other aircraft mechanics and they start to ask you about, what you're doing with the engine, what you're working on, you have more in common with like a NASCAR mechanic than you would for, say, a traditional aviation mechanic, because things like the engine staying cool is more or less a given. That's a fun, while it is dual cooled in this case, it's liquid cooled. So your problems are not serious ones where, on a day like this, you could be really taxing your engine. Maybe probably shouldn't even be flying when it's this hot, definitely not down this low. You're just shaving hours off your engine. But here, cylinder head temps, when you get off the ground at 100 degrees and you're flying like this down low, they are no hotter than it is when it's 75 degrees. So your engine just across its life has such a smooth, stable temperature. Like my cylinder head temps are, the hottest one is 230. You'll never see that in conventional aircraft. So the compression, it's like automotive. I've never understood how aircraft engines just wore out so fast and were so, sketchy when it would come to longevity and cylinders burning up, and you just had to practically disassemble them to really tell what's going on. Always doing compression checks, that's a really big thing, and it's just changed a lot. Much for the better. I wouldn't be able to go into parts of the world to any degree of confidence that I do have with these things, with the conventional engine. I know there's guys that do it, frankly, that are just got more guts than I do, I guess. Alright. Everybody's in the clear. No unannounced traffic. Watch that small airport. Lot of bad wind today. Look at that. Small horns going off at the end of your rollout when you need to dump your flaps. Okay, take all of our data, go back and analyze it, and figure out if our fuel burn is where she needs to be or a little bit off. Probably need a little tweaking. Some more tweaking on the Callan, but for the most part, we are good.